Testing, 1 2 1 2. This is the Let's Do Sports Top 5 Roundup with your host, J. Rivera. This whole week has tested me. This whole week has tested me as a sports fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to get right into it. The reason why this week has tested me is because the Texas Rangers have won their first World Series title in franchise history. Oh my God. That is like so disgusting to hear. Like I absolutely hate that that's a fact now. Like people will be like, oh, the Rangers, they wanted this. And what, am I just going to deny it? You know what I mean? So they have won their first World Series title. They beat the Diamondbacks. I knew as soon as the Diamondbacks went through that it was going to be a 5 to 6 game series with the Rangers going over for the win. But you hate to see it. You hate to see it. I knew when the Rangers won game 4 to put the Diamondbacks in a 3-1 hole, they weren't going to win the series. So yeah, game 5 I think was a slow, terribly slow game. It wasn't until I think about the 8th or 9th inning where the Rangers just kept making plays down the pipe. They didn't make a different play. They just went down the pipe every time, and the same error every time committed by the Diamondbacks players. So it is what it is. They're the Texas team, so I will give them props for that. But as for me liking that they won, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm an Astros fan, but at the very least, I can say that we still have more rings. The Astros still have 2 rings over the Rangers 1, and we're still a contender. We're still out there. We have a lot of young players that are still going to develop into great players. So this isn't a change of the reins for Texas sports, but I am happy that another team in Texas sports won, because I think this state in general has kind of been put into the back mirror. People forget that we're great at football. Yes, the Cowboys are made every year. I'm not even a Cowboys fan. I'm a Texas fan. But yes, the Cowboys are made every year. Texans are made every year. But at least we have baseball. At the very least, we have baseball. And hey, the Dynamos are doing pretty well in the MLS. But for our next story, we get to an interesting one that calls for a lot of debate. But it's that Saudi Arabia is set to host the 2034 World Cup. Obviously, we just had a World Cup in Qatar, or Qatar. I think it's Qatar. I'm pretty sure the proper pronunciation is Qatar. But yeah, obviously, let's get that a little lower. Yeah, obviously that happened. That just recently happened, and so now Saudi Arabia is gonna host in about 11 years, but that's only 2-3 World Cups away. So yeah, it's interesting to see. I knew it was going to happen because it happens for the same reasons and politics that Qatar got their World Cup in the first place, if you get what I mean. I'm not gonna have an opinion on some of the human rights things that happen, because we all know they're crimes. They are crimes, whether people want to admit it or not. But this isn't to get into politics. It's more along the lines of like, I feel that this is gonna be another issue because the issue is, since COVID, these players have been playing non-stop. People say certain, we don't like this because there's an off season. We don't like that because there's an off season. It feels like soccer, football never has an off season. Like, these guys have been playing non-stop since the pandemic, and obviously this is like 10, 11 years away. But one of the other factors that happened last season, why certain teams, especially in the Prem and in other leagues in Europe, had terrible second half collapses to their season was because of the World Cup that happened in November, December time. So I don't believe Saudi Arabia is too far off. Like the temperature that is in Saudi Arabia is too far off from temperature in Qatar. So I would just believe that we're gonna have similar issues with that, and scheduling is probably gonna have us see another November, December World Cup unless they can just make all indoor stadiums, which I don't believe is gonna happen because Qatar had all this time to make indoor stadiums and then they made stadiums out of shipping containers. So I don't believe that's gonna happen. But what I will say is I don't mind that it's a different setting, but I also believe that countries in like Central American countries, even certain European countries are getting shafted a little bit from these Saudi Arabian type deals where I think it's called Riyadh season or something like that, where it's just like these deals are there to they're there to make money. They're not there to forward the sport. A World Cup in Saudi Arabia does not forward the sport of football. It forwards more money into FIFA. That's what that is. But at that point, who really cares? Our third story is Lionel Messi wins his 8th Ballon d'Or award. I'll be honest, in my opinion, he doesn't deserve it. I truly believe the winner of the Ballon d'Or should have been Erling Haaland. I think he did everything you needed to do. Everything he needed to do. He won Europe. He won Europe. He won the Prem, leading scorer in the Prem, and he still didn't get the nod. I knew Messi was always going to win this. I'll be honest. I knew for a fact Messi was always going to win this award because he had, if we go back, I think it was the year after the pandemic, 2021, because 2020 they stole the Ballon d'Or from Robert Lewandowski, and they just said no because it's not fair. Seasons didn't finish. Some players didn't finish their season. Okay, cool. 2021, Messi did not have, I don't care what anyone says, Messi's first season in PSG, he did not have a good season. He did not have a bad season, but he did not have anything. Excuse me. He did not have anything special. There was nothing special about Messi's first season at PSG. He had, I think, around 10, 13 goals, and he didn't, like, there was nothing that he did at PSG until maybe their last two seasons, especially their last one, where Messi did something just out of this world. And because he won the Copa America, and for those who don't know, the Gold Cup is the one for CONCACAF teams, which means North American teams plus the Caribbean plus Central America. The Copa America, the what do you call that? What is the Cup of America? What Copa America? Yeah, I guess the Gold Cup makes sense. Copa Oro. Copa America. I guess that's what it's gonna be called. Yeah. So the cup, the Copa America, Messi won that, and that was his first big international trophy. And let me remind you that year, that tournament was a joke. Does anyone want to know why that tournament was a joke? That tournament was a joke because they didn't have 12 teams, so they did 2 groups of 5. Hear me out. 2 groups of 5 where only last place got eliminated from the next round. That's how much of a joke that tournament was. At the very least, Copa Oro, Gold Cup, 16-team tournament. 16 teams. and you have, I think, usually an invite to like from a country in South America, or if not, a country in the Middle East, to even out those numbers. But I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me that he won. It doesn't sit well with me that he won that off of the World Cup. Though Messi had a great World Cup, that is not to take away from his World Cup dominance. He is single handedly the reason that that team even won. My light going off. That team even made it to the finals, let alone won the World Cup. But I just don't think he did enough to deserve this Ballon d'Or. But it is what it is. The voters wanted him to win, and he won them. This is another reason why I've been tested as a sports fan this week, because he has surpassed Cristiano Ronaldo for most awards in football history. So, yeah, I'm gonna go cry. And last, not last but not least, but the one before the last, the penultimate story, Stephen Curry breaks Ray Allen's 3-point record. This is, I think, probably one of the most notable things that happened this week, because Stephen Curry has changed the game of basketball. If you watch an NBA game, even from like anywhere from where NBA started to like 2012, 2013, no, even like 20, I honestly believe to like 2015 when they won the championship, maybe the year before. So maybe we'll say from the beginning of NBA to 2014, you can tell that game was played a specific way, center dominant. And Stephen Curry truly changed the game. Now every big man is expected to shoot, and if you're a big man that can't shoot, you're immediately labeled as inefficient. To get to where we were back to, though, 2,973 was the number of 3-pointers Ray Allen hit in his career. Stephen Curry has broken that record, and he's not close to finishing yet. He still has a good amount of years left in his career, and it just amazing me. It amazes me how good that this guy is for a dude who was seen as smaller than average, and his solution to that was, well, I'm gonna just shoot over these guys. If I can't get in there, if I can't get into the hole, into the basket, I'm going to shoot over these guys. And he's made a career, an identity, you should say, doing this. Like, this is what he does. People are not understanding. This is what Steph Curry does. He does this stuff. He changed the whole game. Our next story and our story after that, our little bonus story, shows you how much he has changed the game. But yeah, Stephen Curry, Golden State Warriors lifer, 3-point specialist, NBA superstar, and 4-time NBA champion? And he's not done. He's not done. On to our last story. Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama has had probably the best week so far. Minus like LeBron and stuff, probably. But I wasn't really, I was just born. I was born like the year before LeBron. It's rookie year. So Victor Wembanyama, to me, has had the best rookie year I have seen. Start to a rookie year I have seen so far. Victor Wembanyama keeps the game. Had a shaky game against the Mavs. That's true. Beats the Rockets in overtime, and he took over in overtime. Beats the Suns, and then beats the Suns again in a second game in a row. And need I remind you, Suns have Bradley Beal. Suns have Kevin Durant. Suns have Devin Booker. That team is superstars. And he puts the team on his back. The Spurs were one of the worst teams. And years before our last season where we played terribly, years before that, we were stuck in mediocrity. I'm a Spurs fan, that's why I'm saying we. But we were stuck in mediocrity. We were stuck around the 38 to 41 games won, trying to win a play-in and failing to win a play-in. That's every year for I think about 3-ish years. We got to a play-in tournament. Minus I think COVID and last season. Maybe not 3-2. Maths. Yeah, no, but two seasons. And we couldn't get it done. We couldn't get it done. You know, we finally had the good old tank, and it got us Victor Wembanyama. And Victor is one of those guys that he's not gonna. He's loyal to the Spurs. He looks, at least for right now, he looks really loyal to the Spurs. So, you know, his debut week to do what he's been doing. Obviously, I think it's a little early, but if he keeps up what he does, you're looking at Rookie of the Year. And heck, you may see the Spurs in the playoffs if this goes how it's supposed to. And then our last little bonus story. The NBA in-season tournament, I think, starts tonight. It's an interesting concept. I don't really like it because I just don't think the players care. I do like an in-season tournament. I love watching European football, and they always have an in-season tournament. But the players just don't care. And I honestly would argue that, let's say, because I think an argument has been, and I have made this argument before until I kind of thought it over, but I have made the argument that an in-season tournament isn't enticing because the players don't see it as interesting. And some people have said, like I have said, that if the in-season tournament happened earlier, like if the in-season tournament was announced in the 90s or the 2000s, it would matter. But the issue is this league, I love it. I love players being able to speak their minds, but this league is so pro player to where it's a bit of a detriment because these guys just don't want to. Heck, these guys were whining. And again, like, I hate how that sounds, but they don't even want to play 65 games to you know, in a season. Because, and some people say, well, the 82 games is just too many games. And if there was 60 games, players would argue to only play 45. So, I don't know. But I think an in-season tournament should spice things up. Maybe. I know the one thing I do understand. I know they're split into like certain pods and things like that. But the main thing I do understand is that they are split. The games that are being used for the in-season tournament still count as regular season games. And then there's like a cash prize too, but like I don't get it. I'll be honest, I don't get it. I don't get how this cash prize, what, like, these guys make millions. Don't get me wrong, they're not gonna hate the opportunity to make, I think it was like 300K or something more, or a million more. I don't know what or I think it was like 500 or something like that. But like, who does that really impact? That impacts, like, you know, number 12 through 15 on the bench. That those are the guys that, okay, I can see them wanting it. But I don't see. But players will play because they, like I said, they've made it into 10 season. Those games count as regular season games still. So it's just kind of, you know, playing around with the calendar. But yeah, the in-season tournament will start. we'll see to what success. I've honestly have said that this tournament will be here for about like 4 or 5 years because they don't want to be stubborn. Either that or till the next CBA, probably, and it'll be there for that, and I think it'll be gone after that. So that's just my 2 cents. So that's just my 2 cents. You don't have to listen to me. But yeah. Anyways, that has been. I think that's a good way to stop. That has been the Let's Do Sports Top 5 Roundup. I'm JJ Rivera. I hope you guys have a great day and see you guys next time.